To begin this tutorial, I'm going to be beginning by moisturizing my skin, and I'm using the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. With the cool weather that we've been having, my skin has been getting a little bit dry, so I wanted to just moisturize it and prep it for foundation. To prime my skin for foundation, I will be using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer, and I'm just going to apply this in my T-zone where I get very, very oily. Even in the winter months when it's really cool outside, I still get very oily, so the weather does not stop my face from getting oily. So I wanted to just apply this in my T-zone to prevent any extra oils coming through on my makeup. On the rest of my face, I'm going to prime my face with the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer and the shade Radiance. So I was really wanting to achieve glowy skin, so I felt like this is a really good primer to use. I just got this sample and I fell in love with it. I've actually already ordered I've just actually ordered like a bottle of it, so I'm really excited to get that in the mail. But this is a beautiful primer that just gives you really glowy skin, but not, taking it too far. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and I'm going to be mixing that in with the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops in the shade Celestial. I wanted to go for some glowy skin, so that is why I decided to use the Custom Enhancing Drops. So I just poured some of that on top of my hand, and then I shook up some of the Custom Enhancing Drops, and I mixed in or dropped in about 2 drops of the pigment highlighter. After I mixed up the foundation with the highlighter, I went ahead and just applied that on my face. Now the reason I used the Estee Lauder Double Wear today is because I wanted flawless skin, and this gives about medium to full coverage and it's buildable, so I thought it would be the perfect foundation so I could get flawless skin, and then I could also get nice glowy skin, which I feel is just perfect. So that is what I wanted to go for, and I'm just going to be blending out my foundation with a damp beauty blender, using dabbing motions to just blend that out. Make sure I'm putting it over my eyelids just to cover up any of the redness, because I got a lot of it going on my eyelids. For my concealer, I will be using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, and this is in the shade Light, and I'm just applying this with a Wet n Wild concealer brush, and I'm just applying that in a V to highlight my under eyes. And I honestly didn't always used to do a V, but it totally makes a difference. Like, usually I would just apply it right underneath my eyes, but when you bring the concealer downwards and put it in a V, it totally changes the effect of concealer. It's amazing. So I would totally recommend doing that. Obviously it doesn't have to be like the most beautiful V, but just bring it down, and it just makes such a huge difference. I'm going to set my concealer, and I will be using the Coty Airspun Translucent Face Powder in Translucent Extra Coverage, and I'm just going to apply a good amount of this to set my concealer, and we're also going to do a little bit of baking. So I went back several times and applied that until I got a good amount. And I also dusted a little bit of that product over my eyelids to set the concealer on my eyelids so that it wouldn't crease later on. So our eyes are already primed for our eyeshadow in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and move on to contouring. I will be using my go-to contour, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. And I'm just going to be, contouring my cheekbones, and I'm going to be using a Sephora Pro 74 contour brush, and this brush is perfect for contouring. It's a very nice, fluffy, dome-shaped brush, but it's just so good for contouring. So this is the brush I usually reach for when I go contour, which is a lot of the time. So I'm also going to take any extra product left on the brush and just go around the edges of my face, down the jawline, and very lightly down the neck. I'm going to go ahead and just take a fluffy brush and dust away any of the extra translucent powder. Our concealer is set by now, so we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and highlight, and I'm actually going to be using the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops in Celestial, which is a beautiful champagne shade. So I went ahead and I just did a drop on the rounded end of my beauty blender, and I went ahead and very carefully tapped the beauty blender over the area where I wanted my highlight to be, and then I went and blended it out. I did squish the beauty blender for the rounded end to become a little bit narrow, so it didn't apply the highlighter in such a wide area that on my cheekbones, but I wanted it to be a little bit more precise, so I did squish the ends so I could get it where I wanted it to be. I'm going to set the custom enhancing drops with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit and Gleam, and I'll be using Crushed Pearl, and I'm just applying this highlighter over the top of the custom enhancing drops with my Eco Tools Deluxe Fan Brush. Not that I needed more highlighter, but I did want some more, so I wanted to set it as well. And I also took some of Crushed Pearl and applied that on the tip of my nose, and I also applied it on my Cupid's bow as well. I'm going to be using one of my favorite blushes in the whole entire world. This is the Hourglass Ambient Blush, and this is in the shade Incandescent Electra, and I'm applying that with a tapered blush brush from Eco Tools. This is one of my go-to blushes. It is so beautiful and natural, and since we're just going with very soft, glowy skin, I wanted to use this blush because it's just so soft and natural. It's so beautiful. One of my favorite blushes. Okay, we're going to move on to the eyes, and I'm taking the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, and I'm taking this neutral brown eyeshadow, and I'm going to be applying that in my crease with a MAC 224. I just wanted to lightly apply a neutral shade in the crease just to kind of, add some, dimension to my crease and my eyes, and that they weren't just bare, but I wanted to add something in there. So I went ahead and added that, and I used a very light amount. I wasn't very heavy with this. We're going very light and natural with the eyes, so don't worry about getting too much product in there. I'm going to take a little bit of concealer, and I'm just going to apply this all over my eyelids. I wanted our eyelid shade to have a little bit more pigment, and I really wanted it to just pop, since that is the main focus on the eyes is this eyeshadow that we're going to be using. So I applied that on my eyelids and blended it out with my fingers so that it wouldn't crease. So the eyeshadow that we are going to be applying is this beautiful gold shade out of the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, and I'm going to just apply that eyeshadow on my eyelids with my finger. Pretty simple, but as you can see, this eyeshadow is just beautiful, and especially since I have blue eyes, I felt like the gold shadow really brought out my eyes, and since it's just like a simplistic eye look, I just feel like the gold just really finished it off and just made my eyes pop. So it's so beautiful, and I feel like the gold just really pops, especially for the Christmas time. I'm going to be taking that neutral brown shade and lightly blending that in my crease one more time, just to add a little bit of something in our crease one more time. I had some technical difficulties with the clip of me applying my eyelashes, but I curled my lashes, I applied the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara, and then I applied my Ardell False Lashes in the style Demi Wispies. I will have all of those products linked below, but I apologize for that. But we're going to move on to the lips, and I'm going to be using my NYX lip liner, and I believe that this is in the shade Pumpkin, and I'm just lining my lips so the lipstick that I'm about to apply will stay in place throughout the day and that it won't fray or bleed, either one, but I just wanted it to stay in place. For my lipstick, I'm going to be wearing the NYX Liquid Suede lipstick in the shade Cherry Skies. It's a beautiful deep red shade, and I thought that it was perfect for this holiday look. Along with our gold eyelids, I felt like this it just went so well with our gold eyelids and actually helped the gold to pop, so I thought it was a beautiful and perfect match. To set my makeup in place, I'll be setting it with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray just to keep it in place and to just do a final set of the makeup. And that completes it for this look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this simple holiday makeup look. I feel that this would be perfect for Christmas Day because it's very simple, but the lips, there's a pop of color in the look. But I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please do not forget to subscribe. There's a button on the screen, so it's pretty easy to subscribe. And please do not forget to follow me on Instagram as well. I will have that username spelled out below for you guys, and also the products as well. I hope that you enjoy again, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.